Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's workshop watch party. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I hope it was relaxing. I hope everyone was able to get out for walks and to get some fresh air because it was pretty nice this weekend, and now it's kind of rainy. But that is a-okay. We're still pushing through and we're still making it through the week, so that's awesome. Today's topic for workshop is rights and responsibilities. So before we get into that, I just have a few announcements, like I usually do. So, first off, welcome again. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Today's workshop topic again is rights and responsibilities in the workplace. We would like for you all to join us by clicking on the blinking purple video on our page. So if you are watching the video with no blinking border, please join us for the workshop party either above or below the video that I have posted just recently. Okay? Again, I want to thank you all for participating, whether it is during workshop time from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday, or whether you watch the video at a later time. You are all great and all of you are appreciated. So again, thank you. And also, guys, please remember to please join us for the discussion afterwards. It's a good time to get social and for you to tell us your thoughts and opinions on the workshop and anything that has been discussed today. Okay? Now, let's get started. So, last week's workshop, we discussed 12 tips about how to prepare to get ready to get back to work. Okay? So, we are going to review what we talked about last week. And we're going to do this, of course, with your help, our clients. So my questions to you all today are, should you update your resume? And should you prepare for an interview? Okay? So, like usual, now that we're doing our 2 minutes, you have 2 minutes to answer both the questions, starting right now. Five, four, three, two, one. Okay, and your 2 minutes is up, everybody. So, just to let you know, yes to both. You should update your resume and you should prepare for an interview when you're getting ready to get back to work. It's important to make sure that you are prepared for both. Okay, guys? So very good job. You guys all got the answer right. Yes to both. Okay. So, rights in the workplace. Canadians have the right to be treated fairly in workplaces free from discrimination, and our country has laws and programs to protect this right. The Canadian Human Rights Act is a large piece of legislation that prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability, gender, race, ethnicity, and other grounds. Also, Canada's Employment Equity Act and the Federal Contractors Program require employers to take active measures to improve the employment opportunities for specific groups of people in our country. Both the labor rights and responsibilities of employers and employees within federally regulated sectors fall under the Canada Labor Code. The rights of foreign workers in Canada are also protected under federal or provincial territorial labor laws. Okay? So all Canadians have rights, guys. Every single one of us. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, if you have a disability, if you believe in a god or Buddha. It doesn't matter. Everybody in Canada who is working has the right to be treated fairly in the workplace. So I want you guys to remember that moving forward when you guys go to apply. You have the right to be there. You have the right to apply. And you're just like everybody else, guys. So don't feel too intimidated when you're turned down. It's not because of your disability. And if it is, that's legal, okay? So that's why we're talking about this today, just so that you are aware of your rights and responsibilities within the workplace. Protecting your human rights. The Alberta Human Rights Act makes it illegal to discriminate or treat people unfairly, okay? So, race, religious beliefs, color, gender, gender expression, gender identity, physical disability, mental disability, age, ancestry, place of origin, source of income, material status, family status, sexual orientation. These 15 types of discrimination are called protected grounds. The Act also protects individuals from discrimination in certain areas such as employment. Okay? So in this area right now, where you guys are in the program of employment, like us, your job coaches, have to be aware of these laws and have to update our information on these laws on a regular basis, especially when it comes to employment. I'm not saying this and we're not talking about this because I'm concerned of you guys being discriminated in our community. Our community is a very lovely place to live. And, you know, different people deal with different situations, but for the most part, you guys are definitely always judged on what's on your resume, hopefully, when you go into a workplace. I can't say for sure, but I'm hoping. And from what I've seen, so far so good in our community. Okay, the community we live in is not doing too bad. So, instead of me talking to you guys about the Alberta Human Rights Act completely, we're gonna watch a couple of videos. Okay? So the Alberta Human Rights Act, AHRA, protects you from discrimination when you're applying for or competing for a job. It requires that job advertisements, applications, competitions, or notices to be fair. Okay, that means an employer can't refuse your job application or deny you a job interview. For example, because you have a history of mental illness or you are pregnant, he can't turn you away either way. Similarly, your religious beliefs, your marital status, or any other types of discrimination mentioned in the list from the previous slide can't be held against you when applying. Okay, guys, so notice I have two videos up here. We are going to attempt to watch them today. We just have to come out of the slideshow because I'm pretty sure it's too small. Oh, it works in here, but it's pretty small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the YouTube page, and then we'll come back to our slide here. Okay. Okay. All right, guys, this video is not too long.
Did you guys hear the one about the Chinese guy in the laundromat?
Yeah, that was hilarious. I read it on Facebook this morning.
I didn't think it was funny. We all know you don't have a sense of humor. Right. That is a no-brainer. Besides, we don't have any Chinese guys here.
Well, except for Key over here.
I'm Japanese, not Chinese. And actually, I was born here, so I'm Canadian.
Same difference. So that's why your English is so good.
Wow. Okay. Let's come out of that and bounce back over. All right, guys. Sorry, just give me a second. We're trying this out today, but it is a little bit of a bother. Okay, so we just watched a video about discrimination in the workplace, okay? So instead of me talking about what I think and feel about that video, which I feel that man probably didn't feel very good after they told that joke, which he didn't like, and he felt uncomfortable hearing. And then they also assumed that he was something instead of just asking him where he was from, where he was born, just because he looked different. But I want to hear from you guys now, okay? And you have 2 minutes. Do you guys think the guys at the water cooler were being funny or offensive? That's all I want to know. You have 2 minutes, guys. Let me know what you think. Five, four, three, two, one, and done. So I agree with you guys. It was offensive of them. It wasn't very funny, right? For those of you guys that do think it's funny, you know what? That's understandable. Not everybody does understand when they're being offensive or when they're saying something maybe inappropriate. So if anybody has any questions about anything in regards to anything that we just watched in regards to discrimination, please again come to your job coaches and ask us. But thanks for sharing, everybody. Thank you for sharing your opinions with us. Now, we're going to be moving on to video 2. So, back again to YouTube. Okay.
Discrimination in business law.
Steve, you are fired.
Sorry.
Employment discrimination in business law.
There we go.
Steve, you are fired.
But I work as hard as everyone else does. Why are you only firing me? Get out.
Why did only Steve get fired when he worked just as much as everyone else did? Steve was a hard worker, respectful, but also over 40 years old. Firing someone for their age is an example of employee discrimination. Employee discrimination is treating an individual differently in hiring, freeing, promoting, or other work-related topics than others. Don't be sad, Steve. You have a strong case. Being fired for your age isn't allowed, and there are laws to protect you. If you are only fired based on things like race, gender, age, religion, disability, or national origin, you will be protected. In his case, the Age Discrimination Act, which prohibits discrimination to those over 40, will help him. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or the EEOC, was created by the Civil Rights Act. It gives the right to investigate situations that may include discrimination by an employer. It also settles issues and prosecutes offenders. Steve can talk to someone to investigate this case and protect his rights. Now, an affirmative action plan can be mandated to fix any past issues of discrimination as well. What if Steve was in a wheelchair? This is a disability, or a physical or mental impairment that limits some daily life activities. And, of course, he would still be protected. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, Steve couldn't be fired for having a disability, as long as he can still do the job with reasonable accommodations from his employer. The Equal Pay Act prohibits people from getting a different pay if they have the same job, same skills, and same responsibilities. The Pregnancy Discrimination Act prohibits employees being discriminated against for being pregnant. It also prohibits insurance policies that cover everything except pregnancies, and the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act prohibits discrimination based on genetic information, referring to personalized medical treatments and health insurance. If Steve files a charge, there can be a mediation or an investigation. If the EEOC decides there is discrimination going on, the employer will have to develop a remedy for it. Now, there is a new boss. He doesn't discriminate, and he sees how hard Steve works every day. Steve has gotten a raise and is excited for work every day. Work can be hard enough as it is, but being treated differently than others for reasons unrelated to work is completely unfair. If this is happening to you, know that there are even more laws than I discussed in this animation, and that you don't have to stand discrimination in the workplace.
Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to bounce back to my PowerPoint again. Okay, so let's go on to our, there we go. Sorry guys, technical difficulties there for a moment. That's weird. Okay, sorry guys, just give me 1 second. Something appears to be wrong with my slideshow. There we go. Okay, now we're back on track here. So, we just watched the employee discrimination video, okay guys? So I'm gonna give you another couple of minutes now that my slideshow is working again. Okay, to answer this question. And just to let you know, there can be no types of discrimination within the workplace. It's not okay anywhere, in any business, at any point in time. So, my question to you all is, who can be discriminated against in the workplace? Okay, just from based off of the video that we just watched. You have 2 minutes. Okay, so as you all know, everybody, nobody can be discriminated against in the workplace at all, at any point in time. It is not okay for anyone to be treated that way at any point in time, okay? You shouldn't do it to others, and others shouldn't do it to you, okay? Now, moving on. What employers can and can't ask? The Alberta Human Rights Act prevents employers from asking you questions about 15 protected grounds during job interviews, on job application forms, when checking references, or when using other ways of collecting information about you. You can refuse to answer such questions or just write not applicable. Okay? While employers can't ask your age, they can ask if you are at least 18, since specific rules apply if you're younger. Though employers can't ask about your ancestry, where you were born, or what country you came from, they can ask if you are allowed to work in Canada. Rules on the use of SINs require you to provide the number to your employer once you're hired, but not before. So speaking of SINs, social insurance numbers, that is what SIN stands for. Okay? You need a social insurance number, SIN, to work in Canada or to access certain government programs and benefits, such as employment insurance or the Canada Pension Plan, CPP. You don't have to give out your SIN before you're hired, but once you're hired, your employer needs your SIN to record deductions taken from you and your payments made for you by your employer for income tax, CPP, and EI. If you don't have a SIN, visit a Service Canada office to apply. Okay? So, I do have a couple of more videos next, but it looks like I'm already running short on time today. And the disclosing a disability to your employer video is quite long. So what I will do is escape, and I will just jump to, actually what we can do is watch the SIN video, getting your Canadian SIN card. So let's watch that one because it's only a minute long. It shouldn't take too long to watch. And then we'll watch the disclosing your disability video next week. Again, we're just trying this out, guys. Thank you for bearing with us today. Thank you for bearing with me today. And please enjoy this video. But this will talk about how to get your SIN, right? Because some people have them. Most people, pretty much everybody, who lives in Canada should have a SIN number, even if you have moved from another country, right? So this will tell you about how to go about that, no matter where you're from.
If you are a Canadian citizen, a newcomer to Canada, or a temporary resident, you need a social insurance number, or SIN, to work in Canada or to receive benefits and services from government programs. To apply for a SIN card, download the SIN card application form from the Service Canada website, www.servicecanada.gc.ca. Fill out the form correctly. Visit the nearest Service Canada Centre. Reception will point you to the appropriate desk. Show all required documents, which are different depending on whether you are a citizen, permanent resident, or a temporary resident. All documents must be originals. 1. Primary document. You must provide an official document that proves your identity and status in Canada, i.e. a birth certificate, permanent residency card, study permit, or work permit. 1 supporting document. You must provide a legal document indicating the name you currently use. Must be written in English or French. It is required if